Hello, and welcome back to the Dwarven Kingdom. I'm here on the balcony of the micro bone meal farm area that I finished up last episode. I figured we would just wander on through and take a look at the decorations that I built last time. Well, between episodes, really. So I kind of tried to keep all of the regular stone and overworld type stuff here on this jaunt up here, along with all of the semi-manual farms up here with the hanging root farm, the glowberries, and all that. And then down here is all of the nether stuff. So the nether flower farm, the crimson flower farm, the warped flower farm, and then the hanging vines. And I snuck a couple of automatic composters in here because there is a lot of stuff from the nether flower farms that I don't actually want. So I'll just end up bone mealing a lot of that. So yeah, I think this turned out really, really well, actually. I'm really happy with how that all looks. But I have been doing some work on where our wood farm and the crimson log farm is going to be. So this area down here, yeah, this big space here, it's going to be where our wood farm and the blast chamber and our crimson stem farm is going to go. But this isn't enough room. Nope. Because you see all these little holes in the ground behind me. Well, they all contain TNT. That's right. I'm in a very explosive room right now. So, figured what I would do at the start is light this off and make a whole lot more progress as far as digging goes. And all of the digging that I did here was mostly to get the actual stone and deep slate for a lot of our other projects, like the lava farm, for example. That uses a fair amount of pistons and stuff, and so I used the area where the wood farm is going to go to gather all of that resources. So if we fly back over here, I think we'll kick this off and see how this goes. So yeah, let's let's see. Quite the explosion. We'll see if my computer crashes from this too. I'm not entirely sure that we'll survive this. So let's go. You know, that was about a full shulker full of TNT. I definitely should have realized that was going to be messier than it was, but yeah, it did its job. It dug a pretty big hole for me and saved me hours and hours and hours of time. I did still spend hours and hours and hours digging in here and cleaning it all up. So, you know, now it looks something like this. It's pretty flat walls, pretty flat floor, pretty good area to put our wood farms and a blast chamber in here. So I think I'm gonna put just a overworld tree farm here, and the back is going to be the blast chamber, and then on the right is going to be the crimson log farm that we're going to use over in for the crimson logs over in the Empire, which is the whole reason we came to the Dwarven Kingdom. Yep, all this, the past 5, 6 episodes, all for this giant hole here. So, well, I think I'm actually going to start on the blast chamber in the back and get that built up and ready to go. That way, when I build the overworld tree farm, I can just start kicking it off and sending logs through it, and it'll get blown up, and I'll get the logs from the overworld tree farm right away. And that'll also allow me just to run the overworld tree farm and just make sure that I built it right. And then afterwards we'll come in and do the crimson log farm. So, well, I guess I'll hop into a time lapse here. So, blast chamber time. Okay, the blast chamber is done. Should be ready to go. I did add a small little concrete converter up here. I think I'll eventually build like a little stairway up here so I can get up here a lot easier. Because right now I think I have to just fly up there in order to use it. But the idea is I'm gonna drop oh, let's do this. Whee! So the idea is I'm going to drop a concrete powder onto the redstone torch that causes the piston to move, and it goes past a water source block, which turns it into not powdered concrete, the regular concrete. And then we just feed it into the blast chamber here. And this blast chamber is fed by TNT, hence, you know, blast chamber. So if I go up here, yeah, we have a little bit of TNT in the dropper, and then this dispenser is completely filled with TNT. And so when essentially what this is just a giant holding cell of materials, and then once it gets to a certain point, it'll drop a TNT, and it'll drop and explode right when the rest of the materials here get pushed down. And that allows us to blow up a larger area versus if it was just a static, section of material here that we're trying to blow up. When blocks move, their blast resistance is actually lower than when they're just sitting in the world, which is a little funny, but that's how it works. So we can use that mechanic to our advantage in a blast chamber like this, so we can blow up more blocks with a single TNT. And yeah, I think this is pretty good. I will probably end up running a bunch of concrete through here to fill it up and at least have a couple of TNT explosions go off to make sure that everything is running the way that I expect. So yeah, that's the actual blast chamber and a little bit of the concrete converter. Down below, there is a hole in the middle of the blast chamber water area. And so that pretty much just goes into here. So if I go up here, so yeah, there's this hole, and we come down here, and then it just goes into a track around the entire storage area. And I decided to go with the track around there with water and filters, mostly so I didn't have to like find, my acacia wood among a bunch of different chests. Whereas I can just go here for acacia, I can go, I think this is going to be oak, that kind of thing. A lot of these chests are just temporary placeholders I'm going to put. Like for instance, I don't have any mangrove wood yet, so I just put that down as a placeholder. I did put a couple of placeholders here in between what I'm calling the different sections. So the overworld wood area, and then the nether woods, and then the concrete. And then I do at some point want to create a cobblestone generator and a basalt generator, and I will hook it up to the blast chamber. So these I'll be able to just flip a lever and get some cobblestone and basalt. I can see myself blasting some of the smooth deep slate and turning it into the cobbled deep slate, mostly because when you use a stone cutter, you have to have the cobbled deep slate, and you can't really do anything with the regular deep slate. So there will be times that I'll want a bunch of cobbled deep slate and not regular deep slate. So I might end up just manually feeding the blast chamber. And I don't know if I'll do it. I don't know if I'll use this same spot for manual feeding into the blast chamber, or if I'll do that somewhere else. But yeah, that's something else that we can do with the blast chamber. So the blast chamber now looks nice and colorful after I ran a bunch of concrete through to make sure that everything is working all right. And I'm glad I did, because I ended up having to make a change here in my water stream. I just added an extra chest, right? Well, I added this extra chest over here because the items weren't being sucked up into the hoppers. But got that figured out, so I think it's now time to start working on the overworld tree farm. So I think it's time for a time lapse. Again, another one, because complicated build. Yeah. All right, let's go. been running the tree farm a little bit, just making sure that everything is looking alright, and making sure all of the connections up there is good. I'm glad I did it, because I had to move this piston pusher a little bit. It was on the border of a chunk. Yeah, it was like half of it was on this side, half of it was on that side. And as a result, it wasn't actually doing what it was supposed to be doing. So, yeah. Anyway, I did end up getting kind of a stockpile of a bunch of logs. So we're probably going to be good for logs for a bit. And again, that overworld tree farm does not work on dark oak logs. These are all of the logs that I use to fill up the areas before I actually ran it for the first time. And because of the way that this farm is designed, it's hard to see it, but there's a whole bunch of observers that watch which row gets pushed over, which then tells this downwards facing piston line to fire from a certain level. And if you don't fill up the entire line of logs here, I think this line is the most important one, but I figure I'd just do all of them just to partially to make sure that all of the piston pushers, the smart pistons here, work correctly. Some of them don't work when they're on certain angles. So like if I were to turn this entire thing 90 degrees, I think will fail. It has something to do with the priority of the pistons. For example, something like, south or north or south facing pistons fire before east-west facing pistons, something like that. So yeah, that's kind of why I went ahead and did a lot more testing than I probably needed to. But yeah. So functionally, the farm is up and running. I do have a stockpile now of all of the saplings, and I will probably pull this somewhere and put it into a filter system, and I will probably filter out the sticks as well, because yeah, you get a lot of sticks from this farm. Yep. Which is kind of really, really nice, because there's a lot of times that I need a lot of sticks, and it feels kind of bad to break down logs in order just to get sticks. So yeah, I will probably run this farm from time to time just for sticks if I run out of sticks, which probably won't happen a whole lot. Anyway, I think it's time that we start on the Crimson Log Farm. So yeah, let me get going on that, and I will see you guys when I'm done. Well, the nether tree farm is built. I I haven't run any trees through here yet. The nether fungi through here yet. But I'll do that here shortly. As you can see, this area is a little bare bones, and I don't think I'm gonna have time to design and build all of the decorations around here. So, I think that's gonna mean another episode down here in the Dwarven Kingdom before we head back to the Empire. We have a little bit of extra time this episode, so I figured I would head off and show you guys what we might be working on next episode. And it is, if I can fly, it's actually off in the nether. So, I have not been showing off the nether very much this LP. And the reason probably is because my nether looks like this. Yup. Pretty boring, just 1x2 tunnels. That goes off to the ocean monument. So if we fly back here, we fly back here all the way this way, we'll get out to kind of a main tunnel. That way is all the way back to spawn, and this way goes quite a ways, and it goes towards the Empire. So I think what I might want to do next episode, maybe, is to start working on a little bit more of decorations than, 1x2 tunnels or 2x3 tunnels. Yeah. I would like to get some progress done on this next episode. But I mean, this tunnel right here is like 1,000 blocks long. Yeah, that's gonna take me quite a while. Like, quite a while. So, yeah. That is, that's the plan for next episode. We'll be working on some nether stuff. I may end up working on the withered skeleton farm. And then just kind of sprinkle in some of the nether tunnel stuff. Plus the decorations around the wood farms. And the blast chamber, I guess. So yeah. Lots of projects in motion in the Dwarven Kingdom. And then the episode after that will probably be back into the Empire. So yeah. I think that's just about it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.